Is House Flipper worth our time? We're about to find out. Welcome everyone to episode 204 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, Tom, are we flipping tables here?
Houses. Everything. We're flipping the whole house.
It's about House Flipper, developed by Empyrean. And this game, another game that was multi-release cycle schedule thing here, came out originally on the Mac OS and PC, May of 2018. Then PS4, Xbox One, February of 2020. A big jump there. Then on the Switch, of course, June of 2020. And then Android and iOS, October of 2020.
Yeah, I think you could play this on your phone.
You definitely could. But I played this on the PC, and it was a surprisingly large 19.25 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
That is quite surprising, Chris, because it is less than half that size on the Series S, clocking in at just 9.45 gigabytes.
Wow. It must be those high-resolution textures or something. I don't know.
I guess it must be, right?
High-quality audio? Who knows? Full motion video? Maybe. No, there's no full motion video. But there's other stuff in this game. And what kind of game is this, Tom?
I put first-person renovation simulator.
Ooh, okay. I just used the words in the title. I put first-person house flipping simulator. In parentheses, I put, but really cleaning at the moment. And we'll get into that.
That feels a lot like what my game loop sounds like, Chris.
Well, let's get into that then. What's your game loop?
It says, take jobs to clean and repair homes to unlock new tools and skills and get paid.
Yeah, cash is king here. But I put complete tasks so you can make cash to build your house flipping empire.
Yeah. Or maybe just fix the radiator in your shack that you've got.
God. Yeah. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Now, let's jump into those likes. What do you like about this?
I was surprised by the humor of it. I didn't expect it to be funny, but it was funny. The first mission is that somebody's boyfriend stole their radiator and messed up their house.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, did they really? Or are you just a messy person and you threw out your radiator or broke your radiator?
Well, so you think that she threw out her radiator and just left all the other crap in her house? Because there was a lot of just junk everywhere when I walked in there.
Yeah, I think this was like hoarders and...
it was awful. I mean...
No, it was like Jill Valentine's apartment.
Yeah, maybe it was Jill Valentine's apartment. Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh, that's a callback. Well, really, it's just last episode, but yes. Maybe it was Jill. And maybe her boyfriend was Nemesis. He stole
He didn't steal the radiator. He just knocked it clean off the wall.
Knocked it clean off the wall. So true. So true. But I also thought that I appreciated that the game dumps you right into it. Like there's no preamble, nothing like that. Other than you walk, you're right in front of your house or your shack of an office, I guess, that you live in. And you just get right into it. Your first mission, like you mentioned, is cleaning up this lady's house. And you learn how to play by doing that stuff. So, and it's very simple controls, I will say.
Yeah, I think it was quite easy to pick up and play. I wrote down that it was a very zen experience.
Yeah.
The music is chill. Yeah. There's no timer, right? There's nothing like, oh, you got to get this done in 15 minutes. That's not part of the equation here. And besides that first mission where you have to do that first mission, after that, it forks and you get to pick which job you want to do.
Yeah.
And as you complete jobs, you unlock more jobs. So you always have some flexibility in terms of what you're doing next. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I like that flexibility. I like that just the tasks themselves are pretty simple. I mean, I'm sure as you progress in the game, it gets a little bit more complex and things like that. I liked also that as you enter a house or you enter certain areas of the house, the tasks change based on what that area is.
Yeah.
I thought that was just really nice to know that, okay, in this particular area, I need to clean this place and I also need to repair something. And that was that. Like, I was like, cool. I appreciate that. And I like the perk system. I thought the perk system was very nice, very easy to follow. And what was it? Like, you have your handyman, negotiation, cleaning. These are like basically their version. Yeah, their version of the Fallout system. What was the Fallout system called?
That's the targeting system.
That's the targeting system. It's some other. It's a good acronym that now it just escapes me, which is annoying.
I appreciated those RPG elements, like RPG light elements that it had. It's not super simulation, right? Like some simulation games we play are like really heavy simulation, like the Football Manager was very simulation. Like this is like simulation adjacent. So like you can paint walls without moving the furniture. Right?
Yeah,
like
that's right.
You can click at the wall with everything still in place. You don't need to throw tarps down. You don't need to pull the refrigerator out of the way. You can just click it and paint it.
Imagine if painting was really like that. How amazing! I wouldn't have to hire a painter at all. I would just do it all myself. Just like I can just paint things through my other furniture. That'd be great.
Yeah, if it was like Sim style, click a wall, change the color.
Yeah, why not? But
this is a little bit more in depth than that because you do kind of do it like in like panels, I guess.
Yeah,
like they're like vertical strips of wall that you highlight and paint.
That was actually a pretty satisfying mechanic, I'd say overall, right? Because like you take the roller and you had to fill it up, and you watch the roller kind of fill up with paint, right?
And gorge with paint.
Exactly. Engorge with paint, and then as you start to paint, you see the roller start to get smaller again. And then it's like, you kind of go through the whole
paint
system.
Goes through like one coat, two coat.
Yeah.
Like you see it on the wall. Like you can see through it the first time you do it. And that's good.
Yeah, that was good. It's very satisfying. I don't know. This is definitely, again, showing my age, but I felt like when you're opening doors in this game, they ripped that right out of AOL Instant Messenger. When someone would show up when someone would like sign on to AOL Instant Messenger, that was the noise. I swear that's the same noise. So I don't know if you noticed that, but that's
I did not. But I know what you mean. Yeah. I can picture it in my mind.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have here, it does feel really good when things are clean and that you can put things in order. It was really nice when that stuff kind of comes together.
I have that same bullet here. Yeah. There's a satisfaction of cleaning a space, the before and the after.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like you walk into a space and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
And then, leaving knowing that you put it all right and it's all clean and you've put the mirror back, at the right angle and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with you.
It was great. It's a good time. Good time there. Now, Tom, if you got nothing else here, I guess we can talk about our bad times.
Yeah, so these homes are disgusting. Like, I'm triggered by how gross these spaces are that I walk into.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to go through the dirt, the grime, the mud, and all that stuff to get to your, house flipping empire or whatnot, and be one of those people on HGTV, so.
Yeah, I look forward to the point at which I'm such a successful house flipper that I no longer need to be, scraping things off people's walls.
Well, speaking of scraping things off, why is your home so crappy? Like, I don't understand. Like, you're like, you know what? Here's a great idea. I'm going to move out of wherever I was and like be in this shack that just like was complete garbage. Every time I came back to it, I was like, okay, cool. This is like one new thing that I can pick up and fix or do. So that was satisfying, but it was also just not satisfying. Be like, why do I have a chainsaw in my floor? Like, what's going on? It is so confusing. So confusing. I couldn't even like get a WeWork or something. This is what I had to work out of. Like, I don't get it.
I'm with you, dude. Like, it doesn't make sense from this guy's job is to clean people's spaces, but he lives
in total squalor.
To be fair, the first thing I did was clean up my home. Even before I went on a job, I was like, oh, you use the mop to clean. So you use the mop to clean everything? This isn't my dislikes.
That was the other thing. Yes.
I'm going to mop the sofa. I'm going to mop the wall. I'm going to mop the ceiling.
If someone could figure that out, to have one item to do all that kind of cleaning, they'd be a billionaire. They'd own everything. I mean, I guess like it's like a Swiffer / I don't know, a mop / something else, Mr. Clean magic eraser or something.
Magic eraser, yeah.
You know, all in one, and now it just does everything. I'm like, okay, cool. I guess.
And it's funny that if since it's not super simulation, they could have just had like the magic cleaning tool, right?
That's true. And the other thing, like that mop was just like sad looking too.
Yeah, it is a sad looking mop.
Oh man, it was like, but I mean, it works great. But it just looked like a couple of fibers were just strung together. And speaking of which, the hand that's using it was also just kind of very disturbing looking, because it's like a giant hand, and then the wrist is like the size or the width of a toothpick. I don't know if you noticed that, but it was like, it was unsettling. It was very unsettling to see. That's what I mean, like that's how I look like in this world. But again, this is a first person game, and yet again, no feet time.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me here, Chris.
But see, especially, I'm not saying because it's a kind of a simulation game, you need to have feet. It's more that if we're talking about cleanliness and stuff like that, you need to make sure like you're not stepping in and stuff and tracking the mud and stuff like that around, you know?
Yeah.
Just saying.
You can't jump either. I mean, I guess handymen probably don't go around people's houses jumping. But I'm just so used to playing video games and being able to jump.
I was able to jump, actually.
Yeah?
Jump and crouch.
Huh.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like an odd placement on the controller.
Maybe. I guess that could be the answer, because I didn't. I felt like I tried the obvious button to jump, and I didn't jump.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of which, how did this game control on the controller?
Not great.
Okay.
So you do a bit of the mousing around with the controller thing, which I hate. Like, yeah. I've got to imagine this is better to play on a mouse and a keyboard.
Yeah, it felt pretty good there. Yeah.
Selecting areas to paint was often very troublesome, because it would like flicker in and out of what you've selected.
Yeah.
And that leads me to another kind of point that I have, which is that sometimes the context menus got buggy on me.
Oh.
So like I'd open a drawer or something like that, and then I'd hover over it, and sometimes an open one would say close. Yeah. And sometimes it would say open, but if you hit open, it would close. So it's like it didn't remember. It's like, I don't know. I guess they could have just called it interact or something, you know. Yeah. But they were trying to make it, you know, switch between open and close, but sometimes the text didn't keep up, I guess. I don't know.
I was just wondering like how frustrating that would be when you were buying equipment, because you had to type. I had to type in the names of like the radiator and stuff like that.
Yep.
So
yeah,
you had to type that in as well.
Yeah, it gives you the little search box, but like to look up Amaranth Adventure, I think was the color to paint one of the walls. Like, you have to click into the text box, and then it brings up the thing, and then you have to type it all out. And
oh man, that's interesting, because in my playthrough, I just clicked on the color and it took me to the paint. I didn't have to go search for it.
Oh, well, I didn't why clicking on the color, but it also wouldn't have been, you know, I'm on the controller. So like clicking on something is not as obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other thing that I got really frustrated about was there was a particular mission where you had to fix, which it was like I guess it was like an optional objective, but you had to fix the outlets, and the outlets were behind a kitchen sink and all that stuff. So you pull out those pieces, you fix it, and then when you try to put the put that stuff back, it doesn't line up again. So it's just protruding, and it was so frustrating because I was like, I'm putting it back the same way you got. I got it, and it would not let me because it said that there's no space. There's not enough room. It was so frustrating. So like anyone that has like any sort of like OCD will be like, just see this nice clean lines, and then it's just this jaggedness of being misaligned. It was so annoying, so frustrating.
Yeah. So. I was frustrated that sometimes I had to submit at less than 100%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was frustrated with the paint. So like I got enough of it done where it's like you can submit and complete the job, but you're not at 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I could spend the rest of my life trying to click that panel to paint it red.
Yeah.
Or I can just move on.
Right.
And so I moved on. But the game remembers that you didn't do 100%. Like you can look at the history and you can see you're less than 100%. And that hurts me.
Yeah. And you can't go back and replay it either.
No, I could replay it,
can.
but I'm not. But am I going to go replay something that frustrated me the first time?
That's fair.
Maybe with the mouse and keyboard.
Maybe mouse and keyboard. There you go. And then the last thing I got to mention on my dislikes is this game's about house flipping, and I didn't do any house flipping, Tom. I was doing a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, I think it clearly must be the later point of the game.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. You got to work your way up here. You got to do the grind, I guess. Anything else here, Tom, or should we get to our other thoughts?
The only other thing that I noticed that was a little wonky is sometimes the camera would zoom in like way too close.
Oh.
So like installing the radiator. One time I had to install the radiator and it like gives you the prompts to like, connect some valves and stuff. And like it zoomed in like super duper close where like I was like, this is really awkward. I got it done, but I think it was just probably the objects in the environment that made the camera move to a certain location. And,
Oh, that's weird. I don't think I didn't have that issue, but the misalignment thing was just bothering the heck out of me. Yeah. All right, cool. So How Long to Beat says this game takes about 12 hours to complete, or 2 playthroughs of Resident Evil 3 Remake.
That's right.
So just keep that in mind. It is xCloud capable, so you can play this game remotely. So good on them putting that in there for a fairly old game at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
So what you got there, Tom?
So speaking of things that we want to give them a little bit of praise for, so apparently there's a surprising amount of DLC available for this.
Oh wow.
Playing on the console, I was never prompted to purchase that DLC.
Wow.
So not when I started my game, not at any point during, my hour of playing was I brought to a menu where it was like, buy this extra stuff. So I assume that it's accessible somewhere, but it's certainly not in your face, and I appreciate that. Yeah. So good job, developers.
Well done.
I didn't get to it into my hour, as you noted, but eventually you can buy and sell homes.
Okay.
Hence the house flipping name. You can move out of your ramshackle starter home and get somewhere nicer.
Okay.
If you want to just skip this, you can go straight to the sequel, because the sequel to this was released in 2023, and it was made by the same team, but they learned a lot from using Unity, I guess, with this, and used their own proprietary code base for the second game, and apparently to great effect. So much more flexibility they had with the sequel. So
very nice. Very nice. Well done. That is that's great that they were able to get that out there. A new game. Yeah. So
this game must have been well received enough to warrant a second, right?
Definitely. All right. But now we need to figure out, Tom, if this game is staying on our respective hard drives, or, are we taking that multi-purpose mop and cleaning this off of our hard drives?
Got a demo to reno.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I think this is probably going to be fun to play in short bursts.
Yeah.
And I'd like to at least finish renovating my ramshackle home that I've got. So I'm going to keep it for now and see how it goes. Yeah, I got far enough along that I was able to sell, you get this item scanner device, and I was able to sell a bunch of stuff in my home, like that chainsaw that doesn't do anything.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I got it to like a very Spartan state, but I like to go in and paint the walls and maybe change out some of the furniture and, make it look nice.
Yeah.
So I might do that.
Very cool. I mean, I was curious to know if you were going to keep playing this because did it feel like work to you? Because I know that's been a discussion we've had in certain other games where it's like, it felt like work. And
it is, but this is, I guess, a different kind of work. This doesn't feel like my actual job.
Okay.
This feels a little bit like playing Sims without the Sims in the house.
Okay. You are the Sim.
You are the Sim.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff you can do in this, you could do in the Sims.
Yeah.
But you're not tasked with doing it in the Sims. It's kind of just like part of making somebody's house or something, right? In the game.
Yeah.
This is like, they reward you for it here, where it's like paint the walls, install a piece of furniture, and it's like, they give you money.
Yeah. Okay.
And they kept unlocking new stuff. So,
Yeah, that's true. That nice little progression was nice for sure. For me, you know what? I want to get to at least the point where I get to flip houses. So yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Tom. There's something here, and clearly there's something here because they made a sequel. So I think I'm going to keep this and see how far I get.
Yeah, and on my Xbox Series S, it's not very large either. So under 10 gigs is a good size to be if you want to stick on my hard drive.
Okay, good to know. So those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter or Threads at TC1H1D. We are also now on Blue Sky. And we got the handle, Tom, of 1H1D, so we're over there at 1H1D. And, we play these games on Twitch, so check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you want to send us an email, I don't know why I keep putting this email out there, but it's there. It's at tc1h1d@outlook.com if you want to shoot us an email. And, hey, if you might be watching this on YouTube, you can send us a comment down below and maybe let us know, does the game allow you to become a slumlord of some sort or something like that? Be one of those $1 million listing folks. I don't know. Interesting. Would be good to know. 1H1D is part of the QTB network. And if you like any great gaming content, please be sure to check it all out at quitthebill.com/network. Now, Tom.
Yes, Chris.
Let's see if we can get a new game, maybe flip a new game in with our surprising button here and find out what we're playing next. So here we go. Okay. I've heard of this game and I'm kind of glad we're going to give it a shot. Citizen Sleeper.
Oh, okie dokie. It's not Resident Evil and it's not flipping houses, so it's going to be different.
Yeah. Still dealing with people in some way.
That seems like tenuous there, Chris.
It's a stretch.
Are we not all people?
Yeah, you're right. We are. So that's our next game and our next episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this episode, and we will catch you in the next one.
Thanks, everybody.